Let's be real. The modern dating world is brutal for men who don't know their worth. Women have options, men are often treated as disposable, and somewhere along the line, many guys started believing that being patient, understanding, or the bigger person means tolerating disrespect. That's the trap. And if you're a man who's ever had a woman disrespect you, talk down to you, ghost you, cheat, humiliate you, test your limits, or betray your trust, you know how gut-wrenching it feels when she suddenly reaches out like nothing ever happened. Now you're stuck in your head asking, should I ignore her? Should I respond? What if she's sorry? What if I lose her forever? But here's the truth. A woman who disrespects you and then comes crawling back is not necessarily remorseful. She's reacting. Maybe her options dried up. Maybe she's bored. Maybe her ego got bruised when you didn't chase her. Or maybe, just maybe, she wants to see if you're still the same man who let her walk all over him. This is the moment where your decision defines you. Because how you respond to disrespect doesn't just show her who you are, it tells you who you are. This video isn't about games. It's not about revenge. It's about masculine boundaries, emotional control, and self-respect in a world that punishes men for having a backbone. If she disrespected you and now she's reaching out, it's not time to celebrate. It's time to think like a man, not react like a boy. Let's break this down step by step, so you never get played again. Ready? Let's begin. 1. Disrespect is the real break point. Disrespect is not a small thing. It is the moment everything changes. As a man, the moment a woman disrespects you, whether with her words, her actions, or her silence, she has crossed a line that should not be blurred, softened, or ignored. Because what you allow after that point tells her everything she needs to know about your value. Most men don't truly understand how deep this cuts. They mistake it for a bad mood, a phase, or a test they need to pass. They tell themselves, maybe she didn't mean it, or if I just stay calm, she'll realize I'm a good guy. But let me be clear, disrespect is not a test. It's a revelation. It shows you exactly how she sees you and what she thinks you'll tolerate. Here's the bitter truth many men don't want to accept. You teach a woman how to treat you by what you allow. If she raises her voice at you, mocks you in front of others, cheats on you, talks to you like you're beneath her, or plays cold and manipulative games, and you say nothing, do nothing, or even worse, beg for her attention afterward, you've just told her that her behavior is acceptable. And the next time, it gets worse. In modern dating, many women will test men just to see how far they can push. Not because they're evil, but because they want to feel the strength of a man's backbone. If she crosses a line and you let it slide, she loses respect for you, even if she says she loves you. Respect and love are not the same thing. A woman can be attached to you and still not respect you. And that lack of respect will rot the foundation of your relationship until all that's left is tension, power games, and silent resentment. So when a woman disrespects you, that's not a moment to overthink or explain it away. That's the moment where you either show her your standard or show her your weakness. And what comes next, whether she stays, leaves, or reaches out later, is irrelevant if you don't first recognize that disrespect was the breakpoint. From that moment forward, your response sets the tone. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. It's not about punishing her. It's about protecting your own dignity. And if a man doesn't know how to protect that, he'll find himself chasing the same woman who just spit on it. When disrespect happens, you stop everything. You step back, you evaluate, and most importantly, you remember that your silence isn't the issue. Her behavior is. That is where it all begins. That is the real breakpoint. 2. Why she reaches out after crossing the line. Most men are confused when a woman reaches out after blatantly disrespecting them. It seems backward, right? She ignored you, talked down to you, maybe even flirted with other men in your face, or walked out on you during a time you needed her most, and now she's texting you like nothing happened. What's going on in her head? Is she truly sorry, or is there something else driving her? Let's break it down. A woman doesn't always reach out because she feels guilt or has had some deep realization. Sometimes her outreach is not about you at all. It's about her ego. When you didn't chase after she crossed the line, that hit her pride. She expected you to fold. She expected you to come running, to beg, to try harder, because that's what most men do. But when you didn't, it created a reaction in her that she didn't anticipate. That silence, it bothered her. That distance, it created curiosity. And that's when she starts reaching back. Not because she respects you yet, but because your reaction disrupted her expectations. In many cases, her reaching out is simply a check-in to see if she still has access to you. She's not necessarily trying to rebuild anything. She just wants to know that if and when she wants to, she can still come back. It's her way of maintaining control. A lot of men fall for this. They think, she reached out, maybe she still loves me. And just like that, he's back in her hands, back in her world, back in a place where she knows she can treat him however she wants because he'll always come running. Sometimes she reaches out because she feels her other options are failing. Maybe the guy she disrespected you for didn't treat her right. Maybe she thought the grass was greener, but it turned out to be fake turf. Now she remembers how solid you were. But again, this isn't about love or respect. It's about comfort. You were a stable place. You were reliable. So, now that things aren't working out elsewhere, she's circling back. But don't mistake convenience for genuine affection. There's also the case where her emotions confuse even her. A woman can disrespect you in one moment and miss you the next. That doesn't mean she's changed. It means she's emotionally unstable. You cannot base your next move on a woman's mood swing. You must base it on your standards, your values, and your long-term peace. If her return isn't paired with humility, clear remorse, and a real effort to make things right, then she's not reaching out for the right reasons. So when she reaches out after crossing the line, don't get excited. Get alert. Ask yourself, is she coming back because she realized your worth? Or because she realized you didn't chase her? There's a big difference. And if you can't tell that difference, you'll get caught in the same cycle over and over again. 3. Ignoring her isn't weakness, it's power. Most men have been tricked into believing that ignoring a woman makes them cold, petty, or immature. Society tells you that if you're a real man, you always respond, you always forgive, you always stay calm and understanding. But here's what they don't tell you. In the modern dating world, the man who knows when to go silent is the man who holds the real power. Not to play games, not to manipulate, but to protect his dignity. Let's get one thing straight. Ignoring a woman after she disrespected you isn't about getting revenge. It's about protecting your energy from someone who didn't value it. When you go silent, you're not being emotional. You're being intentional. You're sending a clear message that says, I don't reward bad behavior with attention. And that kind of message shakes her more than any long speech ever could. A lot of men feel guilty when they ignore a woman. They second-guess themselves. They wonder if they're being too harsh. But what they don't realize is that a woman will respect you more for showing restraint than for showing constant availability. When she knows you can walk away, that you won't tolerate disrespect, and that your time is sacred, she looks at you differently. You become the man she has to earn, not the one she can control. Silence is not weakness. Weakness is when you respond too fast. Weakness is when you ignore the way she treated you just to keep her around. Weakness is when you trade your peace for a second chance with someone who didn't care the first time. Ignoring her after she crosses the line does two things. First, it forces her to sit with her own behavior. She doesn't get to sweep it under the rug with a text or a "Hey stranger" message. Second, it gives you space. Space to regain your clarity, your confidence, and your strength. That space is where men grow. That space is where you begin to heal and elevate your mindset. Because when you're always reacting, you're always chasing. But when you're silent, you're evaluating. And that's where the power is. There's a reason why men who maintain their composure and don't respond emotionally are the ones women end up chasing. It's not about being heartless. It's about being rooted. A man who knows who he is and what he deserves doesn't have time to argue, explain, or beg. He walks away and lets his absence speak louder than his presence ever could. So the next time she reaches out after disrespecting you, and your instinct is to respond right away, stop and ask yourself, does she deserve my attention, or does she need to feel the silence? Because in that silence, she'll either recognize your value or remove herself permanently, and either outcome is a win for you. 4. When ignoring becomes a fool's game. Ignoring a woman after she disrespects you can be a powerful move, but only if you understand why you're doing it and how long you're supposed to do it. A lot of men fall into the trap of thinking that silence alone will solve everything. They think if they just ignore her long enough, she'll come back on her knees, begging for forgiveness, realizing his worth. But here's the hard truth. If you're ignoring her with the secret hope that she'll chase you, you're not standing in power, you're just playing games. Ignoring becomes a fool's game when it turns into a strategy instead of a standard. If your silence is just manipulation, a ploy to trigger her into reacting, then you've already lost your frame as a man. You're no longer being driven by self-respect. You're being driven by insecurity, hoping that your lack of response will force her to see your value. And guess what? Women can smell that desperation from miles away. That kind of silence doesn't make her respect you more. It makes her see you as emotionally immature and weak. There's a difference between protecting your peace and pretending not to care. One comes from strength, the other comes from fear. A man who knows his value doesn't just ignore for the sake of silence. He uses silence as a filter. If a woman disrespects him and reaches out later with nothing real to offer, no accountability, no explanation, no growth, then yes, his silence is his boundary. But if she comes back with humility and you're still ignoring her out of ego or pride, then now you're the problem. Because being silent for too long without direction just creates confusion and leads to missed opportunities for clarity, either for closure or reconnection. Another mistake men make is staying in no contact mode indefinitely, secretly monitoring her stories, checking her online status, or asking mutual friends about her, all while saying, "I'm ignoring her." That's not discipline, that's emotional limbo. You're not moving forward and you're not letting go. You're just stuck in the middle, hoping something changes without having the guts to decide what you actually want. So how do you avoid falling into this trap? Simple. You don't ignore a woman to make her suffer or miss you. You ignore her to honor yourself. You use that silence to decide, not to manipulate. If she comes back genuinely, not just with a hey or a half-baked apology, but with effort and clear accountability, and you feel it's worth giving her a chance to speak, then do it from a place of calm strength, not emotional neediness. Ignoring works when it's about self-preservation. It becomes foolish when it turns into a mind game. If you're doing it to hurt her, you're no better than the disrespect she gave you. But if you're doing it to protect your value and move forward with purpose, then that's where the real power lies. 5. How to make her earn back access. If a woman disrespected you and now she's trying to come back into your life, one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a man is to let her in too easily. A lot of men think the fact that she reached out is enough. Like her texting you means she's learned her lesson, or that she suddenly respects you again. But attention is not the same as change. A woman who truly values you must earn her way back in. Because if she disrespected you once and there are no real consequences, she will absolutely do it again. Earning back access isn't about revenge. It's about standards. You're not trying to punish her. You're trying to protect your peace, your time, and your emotional well-being. And any woman who truly wants to be in your life must prove that she understands what she broke and that she's willing to rebuild it, not just through words, but through consistent effort. First, it starts with accountability. If she's reaching out and acting like nothing happened, that's a red flag. She doesn't get to ignore the disrespect and slide back into your life casually. She needs to address what happened. That means she should own her behavior, admit where she was wrong, and acknowledge how it affected you. No blame shifting, no excuses, no gaslighting. If she can't do that, she's not serious. She's just checking to see if you're still easy to reach. Second, watch her actions over her words. Women are masters of saying the right thing when they want to reel you back in. But if her behavior hasn't changed, it's all talk. If she's still being inconsistent, still giving you attitude, still treating you like an option, then she hasn't earned access to the new version of you, the version who knows his worth. You don't need a woman who says she's sorry. You need one who shows she's sorry. Third, take your time. You are not obligated to let her back in just because she messaged you. Let her wait. Let her wonder. Let her feel the weight of what she lost. If she's serious, she'll stay consistent. She'll be patient. And if she's not, she'll get frustrated and walk away, proving she never respected you in the first place. Finally, make her qualify herself. Flip the script. Instead of asking yourself, do I take her back? Ask, is she even worthy of being in my life again? Ask her what she's bringing to the table now that's different from before. Ask her what she's learned. Ask her what kind of relationship she thinks you deserve. This isn't about being arrogant, it's about being selective. You are not desperate. You are not needy. You are the prize. Letting a woman back into your life after she disrespected you should never be automatic. It should be earned through clarity, humility, and consistent effort. If she's not willing to work for access, then she's not ready to be in your world. 6. If she doesn't respect you, she can't love you. There's a dangerous lie that a lot of men have swallowed. The idea that love and respect are separate. That a woman can treat you badly, speak to you with contempt, ignore your boundaries, and still love you deep down. That's nonsense. Real love cannot exist without respect. And if she doesn't respect you, she may be attached to you, she may feel something for you, but it is not love. It's possession, it's control, it's convenience, but it is not love. As a man, one of the most painful realizations you'll face is learning that the woman you cared about never truly respected you. Maybe she said she loved you. Maybe she kissed you, held you, spent time with you. But when it came to how she spoke to you, how she treated your time, how she handled your vulnerabilities, she crossed lines that no woman who respects her man would ever cross. And every time you let it slide, you taught her that love can exist in a space where you are treated like less. A woman can sleep with you and not respect you. A woman can cry over you and not respect you. A woman can say she misses you and still talk to you like you're beneath her. That's why respect is the foundation of everything. Without it, you're just her emotional convenience store. A place she visits when it suits her, without having to meet any real standards. Now here's where it gets real. If she doesn't respect you, her feelings for you are conditional. The moment you stop serving her needs or playing by her rules, she will flip on you. She'll withdraw, criticize you, compare you to other men, or manipulate your emotions. She does this because in her eyes, you're not a man she has to honor. You're a man she can control. And once a woman sees you that way, the relationship is already dead, even if she's still physically around. Men often think they can win back a woman's respect by being nicer, proving their loyalty, or showing her how much they care. But that's not how respect works. You don't earn it through submission. You earn it through boundaries. You earn it by walking away when you're mistreated, by refusing to engage in disrespectful arguments, by not chasing after someone who devalues you. If she truly loves you, she will honor your presence. She will think twice before raising her voice at you, before crossing the line, before pushing your buttons just to see you react. But if she doesn't respect you, she'll test you over and over, and each time you forgive without change, you lose a piece of yourself. Love feels good, but respect holds it together. Without it, everything falls apart. And as a man, you must stop settling for one without the other. 7. Your energy must always be earned as a man. Your energy, your time, your attention, your conversation, your presence must be treated like a luxury. Because it is. Too many men today give their energy away like it means nothing. They respond to every text, chase every woman who shows an ounce of interest, and stay emotionally available even to women who have disrespected, manipulated, or ghosted them. That ends now. If you want to live with power and peace, you must understand this unshakable truth. Your energy must always be earned. Let's break that down. The energy you bring into a woman's life has value. You bring structure, calmness, leadership, consistency, and clarity. Things that most men either don't possess or don't offer. So when a woman disrespects you and then casually reaches back out, you don't just hand your energy over again. You don't give her the same access she had before. Because when you do that, you're telling her that what you offer isn't special. It's available to anyone, at any time, no matter how they treat you. Women don't respect what they don't have to work for. If you're always available, if you always reply no matter how she behaves, if you keep pouring into her without checking if she deserves it, you're training her to see you as a doormat, not a man. That's why ignoring her isn't about punishment. It's about protecting your value. It's about sending a message. My energy isn't free. You lost it when you disrespected me. And if you want it back, you'll have to earn it with more than just words. The men who win in the modern dating world aren't the ones who chase. They're the ones who attract. They're the ones who know that their attention is currency. They don't give out emotional intimacy just because a woman is pretty or because she once said she loved them. They give it based on behavior, on consistency, effort, respect, and genuine change. You also have to apply this mindset beyond women. Protecting your energy is a principle. If something doesn't feed your growth, it doesn't deserve your focus. That includes draining conversations, toxic relationships, manipulative games, and emotional roller coasters. You must live from a place of emotional discipline, where you don't respond to everything just because it pulls at your heart. If she comes back into your life after crossing a line, don't hand her everything again just because she showed up. Let her work for it. Let her prove that she's grown. Let her feel the absence of your presence and show that she's worthy of experiencing it again. That's not cruelty. That's leadership. And women may resist it at first, but deep down they crave it. They crave a man who has self-control, who doesn't bend easily, who knows his worth and protects it. Your energy is power. Stop giving it away freely. Let her and the world earn it. If she disrespected you and then reaches out, your next move defines everything. This isn't about revenge, it's about standards. A man who values himself doesn't give easy access to someone who violated his peace. He listens to actions, not empty apologies. He knows silence is strength and attention is earned, not owed. Don't fall for emotional traps. Don't hand your energy to someone who didn't protect it. You are not cold for walking away. You're strong for demanding respect. Always remember, in the world of modern dating, your boundaries aren't optional. They're your power. Use them wisely.